I've been waiting to do this one for a long time. I think it's fair to say it's my favourite Guns N' Roses track, even over Sweet Child of Mine at the moment, because it's just got so much going on, although it's unbelievably difficult. We're going to run it through. Nightrain. This t-shirt does actually say Nightrain, sort of, if you look at it low enough. But we're going to go for it now here on Appetite for Destruction, our lesson series that's tackling the whole album. We've done the first couple of tracks off there, so if you want to check those lessons out, they're available. But let's keep going with it now, and this is Nightrain. So I'll take you through Izzy's part first, because it's a little bit easier than Slash's part. Both of them, though, start off with this distortion sound on the bridge pickup. Izzy's sound is a little bit cleaner than Slash's, though, on the bridge pickup, so you can roll off a little bit the volume or a little bit the tone if you want to just differentiate those two parts. It also kind of goes without saying that we're tuned down to E flat, like the whole of Appetite for Destruction is, but just in case you're joining us just for this lesson only, the track is tuned down by a semitone, so we're in E flat tuning here. We're in this A chord with your first finger, and then Izzy's line goes like this. Now weirdly it all uses the first finger. I've watched a few live videos of Guns N' Roses, and Izzy's a first finger enthusiast for this line, so that's the only one that's the second finger. And then you get a double dead note. So that's Izzy's line there. Nice and straightforward, lots of sliding around. And it's as simple as that. Now Slash's line is a lot more complicated throughout, and we're going to be focusing on his part for this lesson. This is his intro line though. Bridge pickup, distortion on, and a lot more going on. So that A chord again. And you've got a dead note as you move, like that. And then you're coming up to the 7th fret for this chord shape. So, those are your first two notes. So just talking about this initial movement here with these 3-note chords, you've got this, it's like an A7. Because you've got the G at the top of it. And then it's followed by an up pick, so, and then you do a bar across with your first finger. Now this is where it gets interesting already. Early in his career, Slash used to move his first finger, so he used to go. But later in his career, he moves straight away, so you get move to the 3rd, and then down. And the reason for that is that once you've done those initial moves, you've done the hard work. You're in the right position for a lot of the rest of the shape now. So we're going to stick with that suggestion. And then what happens in the next bit is you kind of get a little hammer-on. The reason that there's this slight readjustment is because you need to make sure your 3rd finger is in the absolute sweet spot to be lifted up from those bars like that to make this shape. And if you have it in slightly the wrong place, it's really hard. So that's why, even though you're already there, you have a second to readjust. So once you've hit this new shape, G, and you're going to go to this shape here, bottom note, followed by the top 2, let the bottom note ring, and you move up like that at the end, and then you keep that whole shape pressed down to the 5th fret, So this bit is interesting. Once you've played the next bar here, you mute with your third finger just to separate the notes. And then you drop down to that 5th and 4th fret there with the 2nd and 1st finger. Then 2 and 3, 2 and 1, then move. And you do some vibrato here with your 2nd and 3rd fingers, but interestingly the bottom note is sounded quite a lot more prominently than the top note when you're listening to the album, so it's important that you do hit both of those notes. So just to play it through then really slowly for you, so you've got dead note from the beginning. And then it's very similar the next time it comes round. Except the last time you play that power chord, you can hit the full notes with the bottom A's. And then we're going to go into verse 1. So if you watch Slash play this live, there's about 3 different picking options that you can do. I've tried to kind of notate them in the best possible way here to give you some options when you're playing through, because it's very loose, this bit. So we're going to palm mute with this pattern, all down picks. And there's an up here. Now usually I would say, most times round, that note, the power chord is an up. So apart from the first time. So this is how it should be. Up pick there, and then down. Always a down for this. You want to play this note with the 3rd finger as a down pick predominantly. It's easier to play as well with that 3rd finger. What happens though very often when Slash is playing live is that in the main picking pattern is that he will do a sort of double picking, so it's like a like that. So I'll show you one time round. So it's like this. It's very, very commonly done when he's playing live, and I think you can hear it a few times on the album as well. However, as the riff progresses, he always plays certain ones with certain picking styles. So there's definitely later on, as you kind of follow this riff round and round, he starts to favour the down pick. So, for example, in bar 40, he very often will do a down pick in that second time that you hear the chord, like that.
Chance left in a nightlife cat. I got a dog that does my smile. I got a Molotov cocktail with a match to go. Smoke my cigarette with style.
Then there's this little turnaround bit. So you just grab the D note there with that 3rd finger, bend up full, and also pull off afterwards. Which is quite straightforward. This one here, by the way, is a pinch harmonic. So it goes like... Just a very slight pinch harmonic there. Just make sure you achieve that by turning the pick a little bit sideways and dragging your thumb across the neck there. So just once more. This is the one that Slash does differently here in bar 48. Just before the D. And that D chord is never played with the F sharp in the top. It's always like this. And that third finger just lifts. And then we've got this, before we get into verse 2, we've just got this return. Now Izzy slides in like this. But Slash doesn't slide in, he just comes in like this. So just run you through that here. Slash's line, down, up. That first finger slides twice. And that fifth to fourth, you're really losing the B string. You just hear. So the fingering again is second and third fingers like this. And then second and third fingers here. Slide down with the second and first. And then and that's the third finger here. And then you pinch harmonic with vibrato and then the huge bend. That's why you're using a third finger, because it's easier to do that huge 1.5 fret bend than it is to do it with the second finger. That's harder than. So one more time, because it's just important to get right. Make sure you catch that pinch harmonic right, otherwise it's going to sound odd. Then we're going to go into verse 2, which is very similar to what we've had before, so we're just going to keep going here because it's just a very similar repeat of verse 1. Look out for the picking pattern variations here. I'll run it through with some options. So worth saying, by the way, that Slash very often just sticks with the up pick in the early parts of the riff. And then we're doing another repeat of the intro. So same again, like we've done in the very beginning in our first lesson, and then there's a doubling there. And then you move up. And then you go to this power chord. So just to run that through again, you get the usual intro. So we're diving in and we've done this, we've ended up on this A chord again, and this is the picking pattern. So essentially the pull-offs are the key and the picking pattern is the key as well. There's occasional times where Slash will go a little bit of variations that are possible live, but really most of the time it's played like this. Down pick and then up, pull off, and then down, which I found hard to get my head around, but it's just because it's emphasis. This is where it changes up here in bar 77. You've got this power chord, which both of the notes are played for. So first and third frets with your first and fourth fingers on this F. And then Slash just like awesomely holds this G chord. So that G, you just use the third finger and hit those bottom four strings, but ignore the A string and make sure you mute that with your fat finger. Make sure that this G note is played with your second finger before you hit the solo section, which Izzy does, the first one actually. He goes the... We'll start with Slash's pre-solo because we're following Slash's line really, and this is how it goes. So there's a lot of power chords and lifting off the first finger. So that little bit is slightly lift off on this power chord here. So you've got to move. I mean, really, you're not playing that second fret there, you're kind of just playing the bottom string. Because you're doing it so quickly, it doesn't really matter. And then it carries on, so... little slide down before it comes round again. These are all up picks, by the way, so... That's Slash's solo, which we'll go to in a minute. Izzy's solo comes over that, and then it has a little pause at the beginning, and then it's like this. So just to run it through slowly, you have this offbeat and then you get the bends. Third and fourth finger. So it's a bend, then a pre-bend, release. That's a little bend up. Then a dead note. Then the third finger starts to slide down here, so all the way down to that second fret. And then it's up picks from Izzy as well. So that's Izzy's solo. Slash's solo is pretty complicated, so let's get straight into that. There's loads to go through here. So we start off with this part one of Slash's solo, the first solo. And it's a third finger and a fourth finger, and you're doing a full bend on the ninth. And a slightly lesser bend, and then a half bend. You do the same again. Then you're sliding up to this 11th with the third finger. So that's a nice arpeggio. So slide up to the 11th. Then this 12th fret is a full bend. And then when you press this down pick here, you're catching the B string on the 12th as well. Like that. And then 10th, the 12th, and this. This is the kind of Chuck Berry section that everyone refers to here. So the 10th doubling here, so it's like that. And then nice little pattern there, very kind of chilled. And then when you're jumping up for this really fast bit, and then this next bit is, so slowly you're on the 17th fret here, and then it's the second finger, and then you slide down, and then it's a dead note, bend up, slide down there. Switch to the neck pickup here. This gets very, very involved. Parallel sixths, very beautiful section, but very tough to play. On the 7th fret there. So second and third finger with the dead note in the middle. So just running it through slowly. 7th and 7th, down. Just slide that up, no second pick there, and then dead notes, and then you do this second and first finger, 11th and 10th, then back to the 9th, 6th and 5th, and as you're sliding down to those second frets, switch the bridge pickup again, and then you're going to this new shape. So I'll run you through that. So 4th fret, then over to the third finger, 3rd and 4th, full bend here, 1st and 4th, very hard to get back for that, and then you slide down here and do a pinch harmonic. Pretty difficult, I must say, but awesome. Then you've got this little continuation of the solo here before we go back to the return. There's two ways you can play this. Now, in the early days, Slash used to do it like this. But recently, he's upgraded that to go. So I would recommend the new way. The picking pattern he uses is up, down, up. So, and then same again. So those are downs. And then same again. So there's a little slide bit here as well, which I wouldn't recommend doing if you're playing live. I mean, you can hear it on the album on the 7th frets here. The slide is used. But you're not going to get a slide out just for that little section here, because you do double pick and then slide. What Slash does every time he plays live, though, is he plays the bottom note of this chord, so he goes, and then does harmonics with these 3 notes. Which is really cool and shakes the neck. So before you get to the epic return. So there's a few different things here. You split the first chord like that, and then as these dead notes are happening, you move. You slide down that third finger and vibrato. You double that third note here, and then you slide that down, and then you're back up. And there's a rhythm change. there's this long delayed bend, so now I suspect that really there's a second pick, but on the album it doesn't sound like it. So I would say don't pick again, try and get that note to sustain. It's hard. And then we're into chorus 2, which I'll just run us through here. This is very similar to what we've heard before. We're going to get into our outro solo in just a minute, but the slight difference here is that you do, instead of just playing, which we've had before, Slash actually does continue the riff, so let's just run through that. A down pick, so that's a single note, and then fourth finger, second finger, then G with the third finger. So that G then bends with the third finger, slide up, little quarter bend there, before we get into the proper outro solo. So I'm just going to run you through this now. Try and follow along with the tab, I think that's the most helpful. So from this point, we're on the third finger on the second fret on the G. Nice bit of vibrato on that fifth fret. Not too difficult so far. Then we're sliding down to the fourth. And then you jump up here. And then this is how this next bit goes. So quite complicated, but if you follow the tab, I think you'll find it's actually explained quite in a straightforward way. There's a slight pinch harmonic for the next one. And then the next bit is pinch harmonic. Slight pinch harmonic there as well. So that's actually all quite straightforward. Then we're going up again to the seventh with more pinch harmonics. There's a lot more here, so. And then you jump up to the 10th here, which is quite difficult. And then first and fourth. And then you jump down. And then it's a rebend. And then you've got to come over with this. And then this is where it gets really hard, so up to the 8. And then this. That slide is the absolute key to this solo, so. And it has to be a third finger, because then the next bit all links on from that, so. And just keep following it along, so then it's jump up. So that's where you jump down there. It's a bit of a weird note choice, but it is there. And then we're on to this next section here. So it's high up, then over. Lots of unusual bending there, but it's absolutely right. And then it's this 17th fret. And then you get and the gradual fade out happens over time, and that's the sort of specific notes that you need to play if you want to follow it absolutely identically to the solo here. So I just ran it through there for you so that you can kind of play along really slowly to make it accurate. Now obviously when you're doing it you can just improvise. There's no requirement to follow along with Slash's notes, but I just spent a while tabbing that out for you just so that you can actually play along if you so choose. That's it from us. Thanks for watching this whole series. It's been a lot of fun. Do check out some of the playthroughs we've got and the rest of our Appetite for Destruction series. I hope that's been useful. Follow the tabs. They're all free and available to download there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.